I am heading down to Hooks Airport today because today I'm going to be starting doing some instrument flying as I prepare for my instrument rating. Well, I tell a lie, I have done a little bit of instrument flying over here, getting ready for this, just effectively getting used to flying on instruments again. Doesn't make for tremendously exciting content, really, I mean, just looking at instruments on a panel. But today we're going to go off and do a couple of instrument approaches, which should be pretty cool. The weather's looking nice and miserable for a change here in Houston, which means hopefully we've got some nice conditions to do it in. We do have one small problem though. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You too. You see, the Cirrus is still broken. There's still no engine in the Cirrus at the moment, sadly, and unfortunately, well, I was in the 182 flying that for a little bit, but unfortunately it's somebody crashed it, unfortunately. Thankfully they're okay. There was just one person on board, they were absolutely fine, but unless they've found a way that they can reattach the wing of the plane, I don't think we're going to be in the 182 today. Well, is a spicy Whataburger really a good idea before going flying? I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. So with the Cirrus still broken and the 182 in several pieces somewhere on Hooks Airport, this is my ride that I'm going to be doing at least the next part of my instrument training. And this is a Cessna 172 Skyhawk. It's a bit of a pull from Grace, but it does have, let me show you, it does have G1000s, look at that. So we are going to be doing some instrument flying today. We're going off to do a couple of approaches, get some RNav approaches done, which we never did in the UK. So let's go and do some RNav approaches in November 919 Tango Charlie.
To the ground, Skyhawk 919 Tango Charlie United with Foxtrot request taxi west departure.
919 Tango Charlie, Hooks ground, Delta ramp taxi via Juliet Echo Papa.
Delta ramp Juliet Echo Papa 9 Tango Charlie.
Helping me through my instrument rating is my instructor Rob. The plan today is to do a little unusual attitude recovery, then head down to Houston Executive to do an RNav approach before returning on the RNav into Hooks. I'll talk a little bit later about the differences between an RNav approach and a standard instrument approach, but for now, let's get into the sky.
Tower, Skyhawk 919 Tango Charlie, holding short of 35 left at hotel, ready for departure.
November 919 Tango Charlie, Hooks Tower, runway 35 left at hotel, clear for takeoff, left turn on course approved.
Clear for takeoff, 35 left at hotel, left turn on course approved, 9 Tango Charlie. Okay, windows shut, seatbelts
November 79 Romeo, runway 35 left, clear for the option.
We are ready, option 35 left, 79 Romeo. Okay, heels on the floor, power set. Airspeed is alive. A little bit of a left crosswind there. Yeah, that changed. It was a right crosswind when I started to roll, then yeah, I saw the windsocks swing over.
We headed over to the West Practice area and Rob took control while I put on my foggles. The foggles are what's called a view limiting device that you use while learning instrument flight. They stop you being able to see out of the window so you can only see what's on the panel. You can also use a hood, but I prefer these as they fit over my flying eyes glasses really easily.
Runway 35 left, following a pipe.
Alright, control. You have the flight controls.
From now on in the flight, I can't see anything but what you can see on the screen now. It can be pretty disorientating when you first do it, but you soon get used to the sensation, and I find it feels very much like you're flying on flight sim.
Alright, once you level off at 1,500 feet, we are going to track inbound to the industry VOR.
Okay.
So that way we can kind of get away from the area here.
The G1000 shows the ident of the VOR you're tracking on the screen, but you still have to know how to manually identify that you're tracking the right beacon by listening to its Morse code transmission.
Do you know how to manually identify the industry VOR?
With the Morse, so we need to do... where are we now?
There you go. And if you look here, you'll see the little ID symbol.
first order of the day today was to do some unusual attitude recovery. This is where you have to recover the aircraft from an unusual attitude with reference to instruments only. This simulates what would happen should you become disoriented in IMC conditions and have to recover the aircraft. I did this in the UK as part of my restricted instrument rating, but haven't practiced it in a couple of years, so I was a little bit rusty and wasn't quite sure how it'd go.
I have the flight controls.
Yeah, your controls.
All right, go ahead and get your eyes closed, head down. I am going to just maneuver the airplane around. Purposely get you disoriented. If you start feeling sick or nauseous, just let me know.
I had a Whataburger for lunch, so I'm sure you'll be the first to know.
Perfect. Guess we'll find out what from Whataburger you had.
Hope to see it again in a minute.
All right, you want to move your knee just a second here.
Remember, I can't see anything until I open my eyes.
I recover. Nose down, full power. All right, just keep that nose down. There you go. All right, now that you've recovered there, you can go power back to cruise. All right, very nice recovery. All right, I have the flight controls.
Full controls.
West Practice area, Warrior 2846 Alpha is 3 miles to West Magnolia, 2,300, practicing turns and straight level.
All right, recover. Power idle. There you go, power idle first, and then there you go. I can get the power back in there. That one wasn't a very extreme nose low, but it was a nose low attitude, right? Yeah. And on your check ride, the DP may shoot in a very slight nose low or very slight nose high. You really got to look at that attitude and see where you're at. Another thing you can look at is that airspeed. Look at the trend in the airspeed and see if the airspeed is increasing or decreasing.
Okay.
On my check ride, I got fooled because apparently my airspeed was increasing, but the nose was pointing up, and I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So I recovered from a nose up attitude. What happened is he pitched down aggressively and then just brought the nose up at the last minute, but the airspeed was still
showing,
it was still trending down. Yeah. So hopefully they don't do that. Hopefully they don't try to trick you like that. But they just might. All right, very cool. So we were able to tune and identify track into the industry VOR, recovered from unusual attitudes. Let's see, are you ready to get for the RNav into TME?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. And we will also call Houston Approach 197 and request the RNav, but let's get everything set up before we give them a call.
Yeah, sure thing.
So with that out of the way, I started to get us set up for the RNav approach into Houston Exec Airport. An RNav approach is an approach that uses GPS waypoints rather than radio waves like an ILS would to guide you down towards the airport. I get started loading the approach into the GPS, ready for when I get my clearance from Houston Approach.
There you go. So it does. We're gonna do Waxhaw because we're on the west side.
So we're gonna do that, but then we're only gonna load it.
Yep, we're going to load it only. So minimums is going to be 620.
Minimum 620. And we're going to load it.
Yep. All right. For now, let's turn to a heading of, let's do 180 on the. I was going to kind of vector you in that general direction, and then everything else set up.
Houston Approach, Skyhawk 919 Tango Charlie with a request.
919 Tango Charlie, go ahead.
919 Tango Charlie, we're 6 miles to the northwest of Houston Exec at 2,400. Request the practice on up runway 36 at TME.
919 Tango Charlie, Spark 5357.
5357, 9 Tango Charlie.
9 Tango Charlie, radar contact 10 miles northwest of Executive. Proceed to Waxhaw, cross it at or above 2,000. Cleared approach, maintain VFR.
Proceed to Waxhaw, maintain at or above 2,000 feet and maintain VFR 9 Tango Charlie. I'm clear for the RNav 36, so it's Houston Exec, 9 Tango Charlie. Yeah, sorry.
That was a lot.
Wasn't expecting them all to come back. Right, so to activate that then, do you just do...
So just go to procedure, click the
Activate approach.
Activate approach.
There we go.
Now just verify you are direct to WAXUG.
And enter.
All right, now just follow your CDI to WAXUG, no lower than 2,000 feet.
So the RNav approach to runway 36 at Houston Executive first takes us to a waypoint called WAXUG. From there we turn onto a heading of 085 at 2,000 feet to the intermediate fix of Tidy, then a left turn heading 355 to Zatba. After Zatba we descend towards our minimum altitude, which in this aircraft that doesn't have an LPV GPS is 620 feet or 456 feet above the runway. If we don't see the runway by that point, we have to go around, which in this case takes us straight ahead, climbing to 2,000 feet direct to AGAX, and then heading 328 to another waypoint called BIMTI, where we'll enter a holding pattern. The GPS shows us the entire track on the screen and gives us a countdown to each turn, so we can stay on the right path for the entire approach.
Okay, so we're 15 miles from WAXUG. Okay, so I'm going to check the ATIS then.
We're 9 Tango Charlie, citation traffic, no factor, cross WAXUG at or above 2,000, cleared approach.
Crossing WAXUG at or above 2,000, cleared RNav approach 36. 9 Tango Charlie.
I got him in sight, he's no factor.
Okay, so let's get the weather.
50 Zulu, wind 010 at 7, visibility 10 miles, sky clear, temperature 33, dew point 20, altimeter 29093. Expect visual approach runway 36, flow control to Bush Intercontinental and Javi Airport. All pilots read back holes for instructions and advise on initial contact you have information Victor.
Okay, so weather we have instruments, so we've set.
So we've already got our approach set, we've already activated it. We're already following our instruments, so we're good there.
So we're good on there. Radios then, I'm going to set, this should be our last frequency, so I am going to set executive tower 126975.
As I reached the initial approach fix at WAXUG, I made a left turn on course to the next point of Tidy.
8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1.
There's our turn. Don't forget about rudder. There you go.
Executive Tower, Skyhawk 919 Tango Charlie, bound on the RNav 36.
Banana Tango Charlie, maintain VFR and report that by runway 36.
Maintain VFR, report that to runway 36, 9 Tango Charlie.
So we made our way down the approach and pretty soon we were cleared for the option on runway 36.
Another 9 Tango Charlie at Zappa.
919 Tango Charlie, copy, and say intentions.
Missed approach and then heading point to the north, 9 Tango Charlie.
919 Tango Charlie, copy, runway 36, clear for the option, runway heading on the go.
36 clear for the option, runway heading on the go, 9 Tango Charlie.
So we continued down the approach until we hit our minimum altitude where we'd stay until we're over the missed approach point, which here is at the end of the runway.
Alright, then we're just going to hold our MDH to the missed approach point.
Okay, yeah, so
Minimum.
Now as we sat at our MDA altitude heading towards the runway, this is the view I should have had, but remember with my foggles on I can't see a thing. This is the view I actually had.
Minimums.
Hold 620, no lower. Alright, now we're at our missed approach point, so now we can go missed.
Okay.
Full power climb 1800, heading 120 once you pass through 1,000 feet.
So as we climbed out from Houston Exec, it was time to start getting the approach set up back at David Wayne Hooks Airport, and we were going to be doing the RNav to runway 35 left today.
We're going to want... Hold a minute, there's 8.
We're going to get Jaiduck in there.
It's a Jaiduck, yeah?
Yep, Jaiduck and load the approach.
So similar to the RNav at Executive Airport, the RNav to Hooks has us heading towards a fix called Jaiduck, which will pass over above 1,800 feet. Then we head down towards Corey before turning left onto a heading of 348 to Hudi, and then descend towards runway 35 left with a minimum descent altitude of 560 feet, or in other words 408 feet above the runway. This will be down to 300 feet above the runway where we're doing an LPV approach. That is the same approach but with vertical guidance on the G1000. If we go missed, we head towards a waypoint called Euler where we hold. Before we do anything though, we have to call Houston approach again and get our clearance for the approach.
Houston approach, Skyhawk 919 Tango Charlie request.
We're 919 Tango Charlie, IDET and say request.
919 Tango Charlie, Skyhawk 6 miles to the northeast of exec. Request the practice on up runway 35 left at David Wayne Hooks.
We're 919 Tango Charlie, Houston squawk 5371.
Squawk 5371 Tango Charlie.
Number 8 Whiskey Bravo, slowest practical speed and contact
That's
Hook
the same
Tower
squawk we just had?
1.4.
We'll slow up and go on to Tower 298 Whiskey Bravo. I'm not sure. Was that 5373 I think?
We're 9 Tango Charlie, radar contact 5 miles northeast of executive. Expect RNav runway 35 left, proceed to Jydug.
Expect RNav 35 left, proceed to Jydug 9 Tango Charlie.
I guess it was close.
Okay, so weather then we need to get.
Yep.
Number 3 Golf Call, contact executive tower 126.97.
Contact report activities on the airfield.
Thanks for the help.
Notice the airman.
We're 9 Tango
Runway
Charlie,
17
cross
left.
Jydug 2000, cleared approach. Use caution, there's multiple targets in the vicinity of West Houston.
Did you say cleared approach? Yep. Cleared approach on Bullpen 9 Tango Charlie.
And this is where the workload can really start to get on top of you as you start an instrument approach. Notice how I missed the altitude restriction that I didn't hear because I was getting the weather, and also how jumbled my confused readback was.
Didn't get that because I was listening to him, sorry.
That's no worries. And
Clear below 12,000.
let's drop down below the 2,000 foot shell. Let's
Altimeter
down to
2992.
1,800.
RNav GPS runway 35 left, approach in use. Advise on initial contact. You have information Golf.
Information Golf, okay. Okay, so we've got the weather, the instruments set on the RNav.
We're 9 Tango Charlie, your clearance was crossing Jydug at 2,000. You're at 1,700. Climb maintain 2,000, cross Jydug at 2,000.
I maintain 2,000 cross Jydug at 2,000, 9 Tango Charlie. And 9 Tango Charlie, can you get a Bravo clearance?
We're 9 Tango Charlie, cleared into the Bravo.
Clearance to the Bravo, 9 Tango Charlie.
No, I don't recall her saying cross at 2,000. I just heard her say clear RNav. I could have
Yeah, I
missed it
did
though.
as well. I think that was when we were getting the weather.
Yeah, it was, yeah. We probably both missed it, but I don't recall hearing the 2,000 part.
Ident 5001 Charlie.
Okay, and the briefing then, so we are on the RNav runway 35 left. David Wayne Hooks heading to Jydug, 1,800 at or above up to Rory, then left heading 348. To Hudi, and then descending down to minimums, which is, for our approach, 560. Stone elevation is 150. Now the minimum setting here as
Number 1
well.
Charlie Lima, fly heading 180.
To the missed approach, we will be climbing to 2,000 feet to Euler and doing hold, and it will be a standard right turn hold.
Standard right turn, what kind of entry are we going to make on that one?
It will be a parallel entry.
Yep, agreed. It doesn't specify the missed approach point on here.
Oh.
But we'll just follow the GPS and whatever it tells us. We've got the weather instruments, radios are set up, environment's been briefed. I think we are good to go. Just realized you wear the foggles over your flying eyes.
51 Charlie Lima,
It
10
actually fits over?
left.
10 to
If
we
it's
can
up with them.
continue
Yeah.
deviating for weather, that'll be great.
I'll actually do some replacements now. Just had my eyes tested, I need to get some new ones.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Number 1 Charlie.
I want to get LASIK here eventually, but my eyes are constantly changing, so it's not. I can't get it just yet.
I have to wear glasses, otherwise my face just looks like a potato. Keep offering me contacts and stuff, and I'm like, I'd rather have the glasses, at least it gives a bit more form to my face.
Yeah, it gives some form to your face, exactly. I don't think it looks like a potato, but you know what they say, we are our own worst critics.
That's probably true. Okay, left turn heading.
081, it's a very shallow turn, very small.
Vehicles are pretty much on there anyway.
Romeo Juliet, do you read?
So we've crossed Jydug at or above 2,000, so we can descend to 1,800.
We sure can, yeah. If we really wanted to, we can stay at 2,000 all the way till our final approach fix. We really,
beauty.
we really could if we wanted to.
Yeah, we're cleared into the Bravo, aren't we? So.
Yep. Now, if we were to stay at 2,000, all the way to our final approach fix, then we would need a much steeper descent rate to get down to our MDA. So, depending on the DPE, they could consider an unstable approach if you have to do, 700 foot a minute descent to get down to your MDA.
Right. Okay.
So for check ride purposes, I just follow exactly what the approach plate says.
Yep. Unless ATC tell us others.
There are some GPS units that, sorry, not
30
GPS,
Houston approach, Roger.
autopilot units
north of you, westbound
that
at
will not
3000,
descend you down to
maintain
1800. It'll wait until the final approach fix, and then it'll start descending you.
We're 3 Delta inbound,
I
November
believe
9
it's the
Tango
same.
Charlie, over Corey inbound, contact Hooks Tower, 18.4.
Hooks Tower, 18.49 Tango Charlie. Thanks for the help.
Once we're over Corey, she said.
Okay.
Approach citation 7814 is with you, 10,000 with the weather signaling.
7814 Houston, Roger.
Hooks Tower, November 919 Tango Charlie, inbound RNav 35 left.
November 919 Tango Charlie, Hooks Tower, runway 35 left, cleared to land.
Cleared to land 35 left, 9 Tango Charlie. Okay, brakes off, undercarriage attached, mixture is pitch, fuel is on both, and sufficient for go around instruments. We don't have a carb heat, but hatches and harnesses are all secure. I'm going to stick the Atlantis, come on already. Yeah, that's it, we're all good on there. And we are flying a little bit there, I'm a bit low.
As we descend on the RNav down to our minimum descent altitude, remember I still can't see a thing other than the instrument panel. Once we get to our MDA, I'll take off the foggles and see exactly where we are so I can land the plane.
Alright, we're looking for
560.
560, yep. Alright, 560, you can take your foggles off.
So here's the moment of truth as I take the foggles off and see exactly where we are on the approach.
Minimums.
Okay. Oh shit, we're right there.
We're right here, yeah. So now watch this. Once we get to our missed approach point, watch how close you actually are to the runway. Right, this is our missed approach point.
Oh shit, wow, yeah. That's close.
So imagine being 560 feet above the ground right here. Just before the end of the runway. It's not quite the end of the runway, but just before it.
November 535 squawk 04550455.
I got that. That's Cessna float.
4525.
This thing will sail all day.
Let's go, we didn't want to come off there anyway with him coming down.
Yeah. Ah, we got to exit Echo
GPS
anyway.
112, Hooks Tower, you inbound for full stop.
Alright, very nicely done.
Thank you.
It was a little bit shorter of a lesson, but we got 2 approaches, unusual altitudes, tracking inbound to a VOR.
Potential aircraft, Hooks Air Information Hotel, not current, wind 01011, altimeter 2990. November 9 Tango Charlie, contact ground 121.8.
Ground point 89 Tango Charlie, thanks for the help, have a good day. Ground Skyhawk 919 Tango Charlie, vacated 35 left at Echo, request taxi to United.
Skyhawk 919 Tango Charlie, Hooks ground, welcome back. Give way to the Cherokee straight ahead. They're taxiing for departure, then taxi parking via Echo Juliet.
Give way to the Cherokee and then parking via Echo Juliet 9 Tango Charlie, thank you.
Airport after a couple of RNav approaches. They were pretty cool, I quite enjoyed those, and yeah, first time I've done the RNav approach, so that's pretty good, isn't it? But we're here back on the ground at Hooks in 9 Tango Charlie. I hope you've enjoyed this video, I hope it's been interesting to you, and let me know what you thought down in the comments. In the meantime, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you next time back in the skies.